chaos, a weapon is forged. Not a sword, not a spell, something rarer.
The Forge Key, a relic of power. It opens more than gates. It opens realms. But I, who wield the key, shall conquer the world. Are you ready, hero? Then come fight me to unlock the Forge. Commenting soon.
LFG. The world is breaking. Kingdoms fall, shadows rise. In the chaos, a weapon is forged. Not a sword, not a spell, something rarer.
Forge Key, a relic of power. It opens more than gates. It opens realms. But I, who wield the key, shall conquer the world. Are you ready, hero? Then come fight me to unlock the Forge. Commenting soon.
LFG. The world is breaking. Kingdoms fall, shadows rise. Chaos, a weapon is forged. Not a sword, not a spell, something rarer.
The Forge Key, a relic of power. It opens more than gates. It opens realms. But I, who wield the key, shall conquer the world. Are you ready, hero? Then come fight me to unlock the Forge. Commenting soon.
LFG. The world is breaking. Kingdoms fall, shadows rise. In the chaos, a weapon is forged. Not a sword, not a spell, something rarer.
Forge Key, a relic of power. It opens more than gates. It opens realms. But I, who wield the key, shall conquer the world. Are you ready, hero? Then come fight me to unlock the Forge. Commenting soon.
LFG. The world is breaking. Kingdoms fall, shadows rise. Chaos, a weapon is forged.
All right. Hello, hello, hello.
GM folks.
Good GM, good morning. So I was just busy spamming GIFs on Twitter.
As you do.
As you do. That's what you do as a CEO, right? Yeah, GM everyone, good morning. Welcome to our latest Forge chat. I can't remember who we've done now, but we should start numbering them or something, so at least we can celebrate when we get to like number 420 or something. But yeah, for those who don't know who we are, my name is Marty, also known as Alcatraz. I'm the CEO and co-founder at Lightning Forge Games. And amongst many other things that we are cooking at the moment, we are creating our first title, which is Gladiator Mayhem, and the owners and creators of Forge Keys, which I think we may have a few questions about today. How you doing today, Jazz?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing well, Marty. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I mean, Forge Keys. I have no clue what it is, but I'm very curious to learn in this on this Forge chat. No, I'm doing great.
I'm a little worried about head of marketing doesn't actually know about them, but
no, but yeah, excited to be here, excited to chat to everyone. And I know we have a lot of questions from the community as well, so really excited to get those answered and just get everyone informed on Forge Keys. It's something you need to be informed about, and we're here to make that happen. But yeah, what's up, Johnny? How's it going? Let's pass it around.
Hey everyone. Yeah, good. Excited to do another Forge chat with you guys, and yeah, drop a whole bunch of alpha on you, on the community. So yeah, LFG.
So just
Yeah,
one
cool.
sec. Yeah, my Telegram and Discord are going literally nuts at the moment. Hang on, let me
I,
just
I,
minimize that.
I believe that. But yeah, cool. I guess you know, let's get into Fort Cheese. Marty, I guess let's talk more about, because I do think this is interesting. Let's talk more about the origin story about Forge keys. Like, what does a Forge key represent within the LFG ecosystem? Because I do think that's really important for people to know. So I'll pass it on to you first.
Yeah, absolutely. So we knew from the outset we wanted to do some sort of mint, which was basically almost like a way to support our early adopters, our early followers, in a way that they would see immediate value, but also would be an ongoing sort of unlocking, as we say, unlock the power of the LFG ecosystem. This was never going to be an NFT or a mint that was just focused around any one particular game. Hence why this is not specific just to Gladiator Mayhem. This is very much like a whole ecosystem, like mint. And then as we mentioned, I've got the medium on screen share there, Jazz, if you wanted to bring it up. And then the other side to it as well is this is not even just something which supports the LFG ecosystem, but this also supports what we call Saturn AI, which is basically where we take all the things that we're building to support our games, such as LFG agents and some other stuff that we can't talk about just yet, make them available to other studios and other games. With the first one of those just being announced, which is Drift Derby by Mixed Pixel Games. And we want Forge key holders, and literally it is in our contracts with every other studio and game that we chat to, that Forge key holders will be rewarded in some way, shape, or form for every deal that we do. So this really is in a way, this is our promise to our community of, hey, we want you along for the ride. We've deliberately priced Forge keys at a very affordable entry point, but doing it in a way where where the collection scales. One of my personal pet peeves with, I won't say all, but with 99% of NFT collections out there is the value of holding more than one of the NFTs in a certain collection, generally speaking, absolutely drops off a cliff. And one of the things that we were adamant about with LFG from the outset, both with Forge Keys, what we're doing with our hero collections down the road, which we can touch on today as well, and everything we're doing, we want to make sure that as your collection grows, that the value proposition for you for holding these collections grows in at least a linear fashion. If you have one Forge key, great, you're in. Welcome. We hope you enjoy everything that we're cooking. If you have 5, great. There's even more rewards for you. If you have 10, if you have 50, if you have, well, theoretically, the most you could have is 5,000 because the collection is capped at 5,000. I don't think anyone will hold all 5,000 themselves, but hey, who knows? If you want a goal, there you go. If someone wants an audacious goal to achieve, try and hold every Forge key. But yeah, we wanted to really make sure from the outset that regardless of how many Forge keys you have, you will reap the benefits of them. But if you do want to collect more, then we are going to do everything in our power to make sure that the value is there for you the whole way through as well.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I guess let's dive more deeper into the medium you got pulled up there, Marty. I do think this medium is very informative. I know some people have already read it. We've promoted it on socials. But in case anyone who's listening right now has not read it, this is your time to fully pay attention. And Marty is probably the best person to kind of go through this with us. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of cool stuff that we announced in this. Obviously, for those who do follow everything we're doing, we were hinting at an announcement during Avalanche Summit. So a couple of weeks ago now, while the team was over in London with our friends at Avalanche. We ended up pushing that announcement back, and this is the announcement. We couldn't explain why at the time, but yeah, the why is literally right there on the screen right now. So in addition to us launching Forge Keys on Avalanche C-Chain, and we're partnering with Magic Eden for that as well. So one of the biggest, most well-known, most well-respected NFT marketplaces in all of crypto. Obviously, we wanted to work with them for that. But we've been chatting with our friends at Beam. So for those who may not be aware, Beam is one of the biggest L1s, formerly known called subnets in the Avalanche ecosystem. They were formerly known as Merit Circle. I promise I will not call them Merit Circle anymore. They're now just officially known as Beam. I promised Anna I wouldn't slip up with that one, so I'll do my best not to call them Merit Circle anymore. But these guys, they have one of the longest running histories in Web3 gaming. Magic, back when it was not Magic Eden, Merit Circle, they were one of the largest Axie Infinity guilds in the world. They've been involved. They've run amazing events all around the world. They host some of the biggest Web3 games. When we were over in Europe for Avalanche Summit, we made a little detour over to Amsterdam to hang out with them at Beamfest, their annual event. Climbed up into a crazy water tower overlooking downtown Amsterdam, and got to play Forgotten Playland and a bunch of other games that are on the Beam network, and hang out with a very, very passionate community. And that honestly, I know we've said this before when we announced our partnership with Avalanche. What it really comes down to every time, it's ecosystem and community. And Beam, just of all the communities I know in the Web3 space, Beam has some of the most dedicated, loyal, and passionate gamers and people that really care about what people are doing in this space. So when they came to us and they're like, "Hey, we've worked together previously at our past studio." They're like, "Hey, we love what you're doing. We've played Gladiator Mayhem. We think it's great. Like, let's cook." It was a no-brainer. So yeah, obviously apologies people that are expecting the announcement at AVAX Summit, but I'm sure you can understand that this announcement was absolutely worth the wait. And having the support, in our corner right now, we have Avalanche, one of the biggest, most well-respected chains, doing amazing things, in the Web3 gaming space, innovating in the AI space as well, with projects such as like Infrabital AI. And then you've got Beam, who, obviously, the OGs in Web3 gaming, but also doing crazy stuff across other, areas in Web3 as well, including AI. So when you've got, Lightning Forge Games, trying very, very hard to be what we try to be is the most disruptive, innovative gaming and AI based studio in the world. And you've got two blockchains who already work together. I said Beam is an L1 of Avalanche, really focused on the best of gaming and the best of AI. It's an absolute no-brainer, and it's this partnership is going to, or it's already going to do some crazy things. We're heading over to Gamescom in Germany next month, where we will be partnered both with Avalanche and Beam. Definitely follow on our socials. There'll be some in-person events. There'll be some live stuff we do. There'll be some stuff we do both in terms of coverage and tournaments and other opportunities for people to get involved if you're not in Germany during the week. There may be some cool cosmetics to collect potentially. There may be some in-person swag. If we've got any swag left over, I'm sure we'll try and work out ways to get it to people in the community there as well. The swag looks awesome. It's all starting to arrive at our office at the moment. So again, from the absolute bottom of my heart, I hope they watch this. If not, I'm going to get really annoyed at them. But to everyone at Beam who wanted to work with us and who may help make this partnership happen, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I'm not going to name him, but at least one of the people actually has had really bad food poisoning recently. So I hope you're feeling better. And yeah, I look forward to finding a chicken and rice place to hang out with you in Germany. I don't know if Germany has chicken and rice. Hopefully they do. Otherwise, we'll have to break our tradition. What's the equivalent? Potatoes and bratwurst, I guess.
It's yeah,
Uh,
bratwurst.
Yeah,
Bratwurst.
Yeah.
bratwurst and like Polaner beer, and you're good.
Yeah, I mean, as an Australian, I'm obviously I have to say that all like German beer is going to suck compared to Australian beer. But hey, try to convince me otherwise. I'm happy to go down that road. But and then yeah, obviously to our friends at Avalanche who also helped make this all happen for us as well. The fact that Avalanche have been such an incredible partner to us already, supporting us, things like AVAC Summit, supporting us, hitting the Gamescom, supporting everything we're doing on chain. It's having this mint across these two chains. Like I said, it's an absolute no-brainer for us, and we couldn't be more excited to work across both Avalanche and Beam to make LFG a incredible success.
Yeah, for sure. Johnny, what are your thoughts on the partnership?
Oh, I'm super excited. I mean, like we've had a long history, a long history and a long relationship with Avalanche and Beam, and it just makes a lot of sense for us to be doing this together. Um, yeah, like I'm just super excited to be partnered with, the biggest chain, the biggest GameFi chain in crypto, and yeah, and I'm just yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. Obviously, as far as Forge keys are concerned, they'll be available on any marketplace across those two chains. Obviously, the main ones, as far as we're concerned, is obviously Magic Eden on Avalanche and Sphere being the main marketplace on Beam. But yeah, obviously, we'll support other marketplaces as well. So, for example, OpenSea, you'll be able to access the collection there, or any other NFT marketplace that works on these chains. But yeah, like I said, couldn't be more excited to be launching Forge keys across these two chains.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So now, what are the Forge keys all about?
It's almost like the medium was designed like to sort of work through like this. Yeah, so we sort of said like these Forge keys really are they're our love letter to our community. This is our thank you to our early adopters, our early supporters, and it's a way for people that want to get involved with us, now, to have the ability to do so. And as we said, like this is something that we will be providing, both upfront as well as long-term rewards for. The main one, obviously, being that by holding a Forge key, every faction that we release into the LFG ecosystem. So keep in mind, these are factions such as the Barbarians, the Imperials. You can see some on our website, where you will be able to play with these factions and heroes, not just in Gladiator Mayhem, but across all the games that we release, including like YOLO and GTFO. So for every Forge key that you hold, you will receive a free hero mint, which will be at least rare. So heroes basically will come in a variety of rarities. Top of my head, I think it was 6. Like common, uncommon, rare. What was it? Epic, legendary, mythic, and then the one of one.
Yep.
So that's available across all the classes. So yeah, obviously, when you get your free hero from Forge Keys, one, you don't have to pay for it, which is always nice. But it will be at least a rare. And obviously, you have the chance of getting everything up to a one of one. So each class will have a one of one hero. That will be it's kind of like the way we sort of think of it. If you think, say, Lord of the Rings, there are many elvish archers, but there's only one Legolas. There are many like human knights, but there's only one like Boromir and stuff like that. So the one of one will be what you see primarily featured in a lot of our like lore and stuff like that. The lore as well will follow the events that happen within the games and the ecosystem too. So, for example, if you own one of the one heroes and that hero happens to, be killed in YOLO or get seriously injured in GTFO or stuff like that, the lore and the storyline will sort of follow that, which is really cool. But yeah, like I said, least rare. So you straight off the bat, you get a huge leg up compared to players who may be only using soulbound heroes. And obviously, you get the chances at the higher heroes there as well, or the higher rarities. And the other cool thing as well, and again, this is what we're talking about, where if you just choose to have one forge key, great, you're supported. If you choose to have more, for each set of 5 forge keys that you hold, we'll be doing like a snapshot before each faction release. We will guarantee that basically you will get like a perfect set of 5. So there's 5 classes at launch for each faction. There may be more down the road, but yeah, when we do the mints, there will just be the 5 classes. If you're one of the early access testers right now, you can see all of the Barbarian faction is in there, and some of the Imperials are in there as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we'll guarantee that you'll receive one of each of the 5 classes. So straight off the bat, you won't have to worry about trading and stuff like that. You'll have one of each class ready to go. You may still want to trade. You may decide that your playing style, you really like playing, the ranger or the mage or the barbarian, like warrior. So maybe you choose to like trade around and stuff like that. But at the very least, you'll have access to all of them to get yourself up and running as well, which is really cool.
Speaking of one-on-ones and the barbarian faction,
Mm.
do we want to reveal what the barbarian warrior one-on-one looks like?
If you've got the art there ready to go, I know I've got it on Telegram. I just didn't know where I had it like ready. I know I was like pulling up my Telegram on screen share.
I've got it here.
If you got it there ready to go, yeah, go for it. Because it looks badass. Like, yeah.
All right. Let's add this.
Okay, so this is our one-of-one barbarian warrior. Like Marty said, this will be like the Legolas character. We're building the we're building the lore around the barbarian faction. We'll have some animations coming soon, which we're super excited about. But this is the one-of-one barbarian warrior, and he looks epic. Super excited. I love how he turns out.
Mythic. You would say.
Mythic?
Oh, so with the way the rarity system works, the one-of-ones, basically what you're actually getting is you're getting a maxed out like mythic character in terms of like stats and abilities and stuff like that. But yeah, like there will only ever be, well, obviously one-of-one per class. Which yeah, this is the one there for the barbarian warrior, which looks incredible. And yeah, like that's the craziest part of what we're building across the whole ecosystem. Is when you think about what we can do in all of the different games. If you have this one-of-one in your collection, well, do you want to play with him in GM? Do you want him to go out and AFK and play on your behalf, maybe enter some tournaments in GM? Do you want to go send him off to, raid some dungeons in YOLO, do epic battles in GTFO? Do you want to risk him in some of the YOLO dungeons that do feature permadeath, where if he dies in that dungeon, we will burn your one-of-one NFT?
That is savage.
That's a risky decision.
And we've actually been testing this on testnet, and we will mint a non-transferable little gravestone NFT into your wallet to remind you of what you lost. We don't have to do that, but it's funny, so we're going to do it anyway. But yeah, like he will be one of the most badass characters in the LFG ecosystem, and yeah, will only be available for people. Obviously only available through the actual on-chain collections, which Forge key holders have access to.
Yeah, for sure. I guess if we're already talking about Hero Smarty, there's some questions people in the community had, and I guess we'll just tie that together based on the topic we're talking about. One of the questions, which was by a really good community member of ours, it said that how do soulbound heroes work? Because I know you had mentioned that, right? So if you want to explain that maybe to people in the community, how's that all going to work within the heroes?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so one of the interesting challenges of building in the Web3 space is you want to build games that are free to play, that are open and accessible to all players, but still incentivize and reward people who take advantage of the Web3 ecosystem. So you want this sort of hybrid design across Web2 and Web3. You don't want people maybe not having access to the game or not being able to play it as much as they would want. And one of the ways that we can do that is through like soulbound collections and soulbound heroes. It's worth keeping in mind. Soulbound heroes will still be on chain. Everything we are doing, from day one is on chain. For Web2 players that maybe don't know what a wallet is or don't really care about how everything's working under the hood, we manage that whole thing for them. So they have access to everything on chain, but they don't have to go through, jump through the hoops or the learning process of, what is a wallet, what is a private key, how do I set up MetaMask, like all these sort of things. So the heroes that you'll be able, I mean, most collections, you'll end up with a mix of both like soulbound and non-soulbound heroes. But for soulbound heroes, when you like get access to them by playing the game, or that you may unlock through maybe tournaments or events or quests, or maybe you like buy them using say gold or gems, like in-game currencies. The two main things: one, they're going to start at common. So straight off the bat, like they're going to be common or uncommon. They're not going to have the same sort of abilities as what you would have in these hero, the full hero collection. There's a lot of other small things that sort of differentiate them. One, obviously being soulbound, they're not tradable. So they're locked to the wallet or the accounts where they're created. You're going to notice they don't gain XP quite as fast. They don't train the AI quite as fast. There's a lot of little things that I don't want to say the real heroes, but the heroes that you get access to through Forge Keys and like the full on-chain collections. There's a lot of things that they unlock that Soulbound just won't have access to. The way we sort of try to design it, if you think like old school game design, where old school games, you would release say a demo where people get access to the first few parts of a game, and then you're hoping that they enjoy that and they want to unlock the full experience. We think of Soulbound Heroes very much like that, where it gives people enough of a taste of what we're offering that we want them to then get involved and jump into the full ecosystem. So yeah, we're definitely trying to balance out between the two. Again, we've done this before with previous games and previous studios that we've worked with. But yeah, if you are serious about wanting to have heroes that really have unlock the full potential across the entire LFG ecosystem, that aren't just restricted to a single game or anything like that, then yeah, this is absolutely the way you would want to go. We haven't confirmed pricing yet for heroes, but we're looking at would probably be similar to the sort of pricing that you can actually get Forge Keys for if you hold Forge Essence and stuff like that. So again, very trying to enter that very accessible price point, which we can do with our hero collections because of everything we're building with LFG agents and with AFK and play. Again, if you other games in the Web3 space, take Axie Infinity as an example. If you are playing Axie and you own, I'm thinking old school Axie, not all their newer games they've brought out since. But if you're playing Axie and you own more than 3 Axies, well, the rest are just sitting there in your wallet, literally doing nothing. That's how the whole sponsorship and guild system really kicked off in Axie, was because people had huge collections that they wanted to be able to actually use, and there were players who didn't have the NFTs required to play the game, so it was a natural fit. What we've tried to do, or what we've done, I should say, with the LFG ecosystem, is if you have if you're a new player and you own say 2 heroes as an example, and I can tell you now, when you go through the tutorial with Gladiator Mayhem and you finish all that, you will have 2 soulbound heroes in your collection ready to go, so you can play the game. And yeah, you can jump in, you can play, play some battles, maybe enter a tournament, do stuff like that. But if you have 4, Well, great. Now you can play, but you could also send your other duo off to AFK and play on your behalf. If you own 6, if you own 8, if you own 10, like this system scales up to, I think it's like 1 million heroes theoretically. We've tested some crazy numbers, but we've never hit a technical reason where a player, regardless of the size of their collection, number of heroes, number of events they want to play in, stuff like that, was limited in terms of what they could actually do. So again, this is a collection that will scale with you. You won't have to start setting up alt accounts and moving things back and forth just so you can actually use all of the heroes that you collect. We're actually supporting this out of the box, where we want you to have huge collections and we want to like reward you for doing so, not punish you for doing so. So yeah, very different world compared to a lot of other Web3 games. Even our tournaments are being designed so that if there's say a nightly tournament at 6 p.m. Or at 2 a.m. and you're asleep, and you've got 10 duos in your account and you want to enter all 10. Depending on the rules of the tournament, some tournaments may restrict how many duos can enter, but generally speaking, there's no reason why you can't have all 10 duos enter, and theoretically, you could come first, second, and third in that event. Which again, no one has even tried this before with AFK and play, and it's once you start really getting into it, it's addictive, man. Like, I know a lot of the testing we're doing internally at the moment, all the team is like playing in tournaments and events and stuff like that. Obviously, with some of our early testers right now, they're battling on the leaderboards. And that's the current testing build doesn't have LFG agents enabled just yet. But yeah, once we get this full thing out there, people can start seeing it and understand what we're building. Yeah, it's sticky, man. It's really fun. And the great part there as well, like you might not be a gamer. You may not have the time or the reflexes anymore to really get in there and play the game yourself. But thanks to LFG agents and the way we've designed these collections to scale, you could literally have a collection that's off, playing matches, competing on leaderboards, entering tournaments every single day, and you don't have to actually play a single game. You can even like buy codexes, which is like the training data from other players to use for training. So if you've got a friend that's really good at playing the game, you could say, hey, can you trade me some codexes so I can train up my heroes to learn to play like you? And then you end up this like awesome world where if you buy codexes from different players, your heroes become this like amalgamation of all their different strategies and styles. And you get to sort of be the coach of the football team, just sending all your heroes and duos out to battle on your behalf. It's a really innovative way to experience a game like this. And yeah, I can't wait for more players to get their hands on it. We're going to be opening up testing more as soon as we can. Because yeah, there's some really cool stuff here.
Yeah, definitely agreed. I feel like when people start actually playing and get access to the game, they're gonna really see what we've been building for the past, year and a half. So excited to open that up to more people. I guess Marty, just touching upon that point, just since we're still at the hero section of the medium, one other question we had was how are hero rarities upgraded in the game? So if you buy a hero, pretty much how will it be upgraded throughout your process within playing GM?
Yep, it's a really great question. And again, unlike a lot of other collections where if you had a rare hero, it's always going to be rare or legendary or mythic or common, whatever it happens to be. We've really taken this idea that your heroes are they're training, they're learning, you are actively investing in them to make them better over time. So you will be able to actually level up both the level and the rarity of your heroes over time. Obviously, with everyone having access to different training and stuff like that, no two heroes will be alike. Like Jazz, you and I could both have a rare barbarian mage, but because of the way we've trained them, because of just the match history and the matches they've been involved in, those two mages are going to potentially play very differently. They may have different cosmetics, they may have different items, they may have different runes. So there's some other layers of depth we haven't quite gotten to in terms of talking about publicly just yet. But there's a lot of ways you can customize your heroes outside of just their level and their rarity. So yeah, no two heroes will be alike. which is very, very cool. But yeah, you will be able to level up the rarity of your heroes. It won't be a quick process. It won't be. It will take a lot of efforts on your part. If you're thinking, oh, I'll just get a common and I'll eventually level it up to like a mythic, that is going to take months, if not years, of grinding to do so. Like that is going to be a Herculean effort. But again, it is theoretically something that is possible. It's up to you to decide if that's worth the effort, or if you'd rather just maybe jump on the marketplace and see what's on there. Maybe someone's selling a legendary hero that maybe gives you that leg up on the competition. So yeah, you will be able to level up the rarity, but yeah, if you're starting from rare, compared to say maybe a free to play player who is just working with soulbound heroes, you are literally going to be months ahead of that other player.
Yeah. No. Well said. Yeah. I guess with other games out there, you can also easily purchase your hero up to a better level. But here it's all about really the grind in the game, right? Like you have to put in the effort to really get the value out of it, which is honestly great because it's more satisfying that way as well, right? Like you don't want to be able to, pay to win. You want to grind to win.
Exactly. And again, like grind in the LFG ecosystem is probably a very different term to what people are thinking of. Like
Yeah.
this isn't gonna be like Axie where you're putting in 12 hours a day. You can if you want. And like I've been doing that personally because my double samurai combo is really powerful and I'm trying to top the leaderboards again. But someone keeps pipping me off the top of the tournament leaderboard. But yeah, like if you think of grinding more as like, hey, over breakfast in the morning, I'm going to set up my duos and tell them what to do. And I'm going to check in with them over lunch. And you'll get notifications throughout the day, just giving you little updates and, little highlight reels of what they're up to. And then maybe at night, I'm going to, play some tournaments and then, go to bed and they'll go grind for you overnight. We're really trying to take the parts of gaming that people just don't enjoy. No one wants to have to grind a battle pass. We do it because we want the rewards that are in the battle pass. So what if we can get rid of all those points of friction that you don't really want to do and let you focus on what you want to do within the ecosystem, whether that be just play casually, whether that's you want to grind tournaments, try and top the leaderboards. There's going to be a lot of different ways that people can choose to play all of the games that we're offering. And because that's the thing, Gladiator Mayhem, this is just the start, baby. Like we are just getting started here with GM. Then you open up, the world of YOLO, the world of GTFO, and other games, beyond that. Like this is going to be crazy. Where you're going to have a world where you're sitting on like 50 heroes, and you want to go play some YOLO, but they're all off playing tournaments in GM, or they're all grinding dungeons in YOLO, but you've got a big 64 player battle coming up in GTFO. So you've got to like start managing the time of your heroes and stuff like that, which is crazy to think of.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely excited about YOLO as well. Gonna get myself a 1-on-1 and send him out to battle. Hopefully, I survive.
Just
No,
don't
absolutely
die.
sounds
Just
good.
don't lose him.
Just don't listen.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, we show you the odds before you send them out in YOLO. But for any poker players out there, you know that the odds don't always tell the full story. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm very much looking forward to like jumping on TikTok live or like YouTube live or whatever it happens to be,
Yeah.
wherever people choose to stream. Twitter or X, I guess I'll call it X because even though it's a stupid freaking name. Because I want to see someone like YOLOing their one of ones in some of the craziest dungeons that we can put together. Our designers are going to do everything in our power to create the craziest hardcore dungeons, but we're going to put some of the biggest, craziest prizes at the end of those dungeons as well. I hear Bitcoin's going up in price, so maybe we'll do something there. But yeah,
Oh,
definitely look.
too many alpha drops in each ForgeChat.
I mean, if people are paying attention, man, that's all they got to do.
I love it. But yeah, I guess going towards what we're seeing on the screen currently, Marty. I think for anyone listening here, it's really important to understand that Gladiator Mayhem is not the only title which LFG will be producing. We have two other titles in the pipeline. The other two you see over there, GTFO, Grand Tactics Final Order, and YOLO. Marty, do you want to go a little bit more in depth for new people who are listening, of what GTFO and YOLO are?
Yeah, absolutely. We've touched on it a little bit in previous like forward chats and stuff like that, and obviously we'll release more info as we get closer to those games coming out. But for now, GM is obviously the big focus of what we're doing, which is our 2v2 hero brawler. YOLO is our 5 hero PvE dungeon crawler. So GM, you're battling against other players and other players' LFG agents. In YOLO, you're teaming up with your heroes, but also your friends and your clanmates' heroes to battle against our PvE dungeons. So that really lets us go crazy and build the craziest traps, the scariest monsters. We'll do everything in our power in YOLO to beat you. Only the best heroes and the best like teams will be able to make it through there. So that's going to be really fun. Like I said, there'll be standard dungeons, there'll be YOLO dungeons. The main difference is YOLO dungeons feature permadeath. So if you die in a YOLO dungeon, your hero is gone. We will burn the NFT, and we will like mint a little gravestone in your wallet to remind you of what you lost. So think of this as kind of like maybe like in Diablo, like hardcore mode, but taken to the next level. But the benefit of YOLO dungeons is it means we can offer some of the craziest prizes and rewards at the end of those insane dungeons. These are not for the faint of heart. I know a lot of players probably will never touch a YOLO dungeon, but for anyone who really enjoys that sort of high risk, high reward, high adrenaline gameplay, YOLO dungeons is our love letter to you, basically. If you're an old school ARPG fan, if you remember like watching like Crip and Criparian be the first to beat like hardcore Diablo and stuff like that, like this is for you. And then GTFO, this is this was actually the first game we announced, and it was something that we've always wanted to build. We are building it now, but yeah, GM makes a lot more sense as the entry point into the LFG ecosystem. GTFO is our auto battler on steroids. So this is how do we take auto battlers, like TFT, auto chess, stuff like that, turn it on its head, make it different, make it fun, make it unique. And the way we decided to do it was just going crazy. So we're putting massive battles together with this. The example I've given many times, if you've seen the original Gladiator movie, we've got like the massive Roman army against the barbarian horde. Imagine that in GTFO, where you'll have massive armies. Most players may not have, collections big enough to field armies like this. You'll need to actually work with your friends, work with your guildmates, your clanmates, to put together these sort of massive armies. But we're going to end up in this world where you have these crazy like tournament finals where you have hundreds of units on each side just all charging in and everything popping off. So, and again, the engine we've built, the technology we've been working on now for over a year is all leading up to this point. There's a reason we've put in the hard work to do things that no other team has been able to do, such as building like full deterministic game engines, optimizing everything we are doing from day one for high performance for mobile and web. It's all leading up to this point where we can have these sort of just epic scale battles on mobile, on web, in a way that no one has been able to do before. But we're bringing it to you for GTFO. And again, if you sort of look at there's also a reason why we're releasing the games in the order that we are. So GM is first, then YOLO, then GTFO, because all of your progress, all of your accounts, everything that you do in the LFG ecosystem persists across all 3 games. When you start playing GM, we will create an LFG account for you. And then when you start playing YOLO, you'll just log in with that same account and everything will just be there. Your coins, your gems, your heroes, your cosmetics, everything just transfers straight across and is actually synced in real time between the 2 games. If you have a duo which is off, grinding AFK and play in Gladiator Mayhem, those 2 heroes are not available to play YOLO. Why? Because they're off doing something else. So when we say like we're really supporting people having like large collections, lots of heroes, which again, if you have lots of Forge keys, you get that for free. Like this isn't just in GM. This extends across all the games that we're creating. So we're really trying to build this universe where if you do have a large collection, if you're a serious grinder and you're collecting and you're really getting into everything that we offer, you're the one that's going to really be able to take the most advantage of that. So GM, you can play with literally 2 heroes. You just need a duo, and off you go. YOLO, you need access to 5, or you need to join a party or have up to 5, and we'll support like solo queues and ways to find other people to play with in that, obviously. And then GTFO, our goal for GTFO, I don't want to put a number on it, but we're trying to support just the biggest battles we possibly can. So my dream is that we can, from a technology and a game design perspective, we can support battles bigger than any one player would be able to actually field by themselves. So we want you to have to get together with a bunch of your friends, put all of your heroes together, work out the tactics. Hey, it's right there in the name, Grand Tactics, and field these massive armies going into battle. So yeah, this has been the dream. This has been the vision we've had literally since day one. Early on, we played our cards very close to our chest. There's 2 reasons behind that. One, we didn't want people to get too focused on the end game. We wanted people to enjoy the stuff we release sort of along the way. But 2, we know what we're doing is ambitious. We know what we're doing is new and innovative, and no one in Web3, and honestly, not many people in the Web2 space would have the balls or the technical ability or the design chops to pull something like this off. And we didn't want to give our competitors a head start. We literally know right now that there is another team out there. We spoke to them at GDC earlier this year, who is trying to copy everything that we are doing. And we wish them the best of luck because we've got the head start. We know what we're doing. And if nothing else, copy us. That's just confirming to us that we're on the right track and we're doing something really cool. So I know it sucks for the community from time to time. Believe me when I say we would love to be able to talk about everything that we have cooking right now. What we're telling you right now is like 10% of what we are working on right now. And I'm being very careful in what I say because, we need to be careful that we don't potentially give our competitors, a heads up in what we're actually doing. When we drop like our tournament system that we're developing for GM, I think everyone is going to be completely blown away on what we have built and how it works and all the ways you can play GM. When we drop, future hero collections and you see some of the just incredible stuff that like the art team and design team is putting together there. You saw the 1/1 barbarian there. We haven't shown you the legendaries, the mythics. You haven't seen a bunch of the other classes yet. You haven't seen 8 of the 12 factions yet. There is so much cool stuff that we're cooking. And I'm very much looking forward to bringing people along for the ride. And obviously, keep in mind, we said this before. I think it's just a bit further down in the medium. Obviously, if you hold a Forge key, you'll get access to exclusive Discord channels where we will start dropping this alpha for you. The more Forge keys you have, there'll be some more exclusive channels. There'll be opportunities for like private AMAs, chats with the team, stuff like that as well. Because again, if you are a Forge key holder, we think of you as part of our extended family. We think of you as part of the journey, and we want you along for the ride.
Yeah, and I think it's important to also say that those tournaments, Marty, which you were just talking about, Forge keys unlock the access to be a part of those tournaments. So
Yep.
if you and Marty's not, he's not someone who overstates things. I feel like Marty's very reserved. So when he's telling you this tournament system is crazy, I think your expectation should be a little bit higher than that because it is absolutely something I've probably not seen in the Web3 space yet. And it'll be super cool for players to actually, get to be a part of that tournament system. But yeah, I guess, talking about that, we already touched upon a tournament system already. Do we want to talk about LFG rewards?
Yeah, so I mean that's we've got it. Is that should be in here somewhere? I think.
I think it's the one below, or do you want to? Yeah, I think it's the one below this.
let's quickly touch on this one, just so I don't want to miss anything, because like I said, there's so many things you get for holding a Forge key. So yeah, obviously, Forge key holders get access to prioritized like training queues for training your LFG agents. You'll get free credits every single month to use for training your heroes, because that's the big thing. It's one thing for us to say like, hey, your heroes can learn and evolve and adapt over time, but you need to put in the work to actually train them, to teach them what to do. And yeah, again, if you hold Forge keys, we're literally making that easier and quicker than everyone else gets access to, which obviously is great for GM. But again, when you start thinking, all right, well, now you need to start training your heroes for YOLO, you need to start training them for GTFO, like these having access to the priority training and the credits each month, that's going to be a huge long-term like benefit to people within the LFG ecosystem, because it will literally mean that your heroes are smarter, they play better than your competition, which obviously no guarantees, but you would think if you look at other games, you look at the pros that play, the pros that are just better. Look at Faker. He's potentially about to win another MSI title, another Worlds, like the undisputed GOAT of League of Legends. There are other players out there that have put in as many hours as he has, but he is just smarter and better at the game. And yeah, having this prioritized training and the free credits each month is a way that you can train your heroes to be better than your competition. We'll talk more about training a bit later on as we get closer to like releasing that. But yeah, and again, also worth noting, this all happens within the game client as well. Everything is just accessible within the game. You don't have to like go out to a web page or any rubbish like that. It's all contained. It's super easy to understand and do. And yeah, you can obviously within the game itself, you can follow along with the training. You can watch what's happening. Yeah, it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I guess there's our LFG rewards here.
There it is. This is something we've been cooking now for a while. It was something we wanted to release earlier this year, but yeah, we wanted to make sure we cooked it and we got it right. So we sort of held off on that. It's one thing you'll hear quite often us talking about, which I think sets us apart compared to a lot of other studios. Like if we're working on something and it's not where it needs to be, we're not going to push out something half cooked. We understand you only get one chance to make that first impression. So if we're going to drop something and go wide and really get behind it, such as Forge Keys, such as LFG Rewards, such as Gladiator Mayhem, all these sort of things, we're going to literally make sure that it is the best it can possibly be. Because we want people to understand that anytime we put something out there, it has that element of quality around what we're actually doing. LFG Rewards is our rewards program. It is open to everyone. To be eligible, you have to play a game of Gladiator Mayhem. It is literally the easiest rewards program in the world to become part of. But there's two things that really sets LFG Rewards apart compared to other rewards or engagement programs and stuff like that you'll see across both Web 2 and Web 3. The first one being that this is a system that has been designed from the ground up as an ongoing sustainable rewards model. This is not inflationary in any way, shape, or form to the LFG ecosystem. We have seen countless projects go down that path, and every single one of them has suffered as a result. You just have to go look at the lifetime graph for Axie for SLP to see how that plays out, basically. And we know this, and we're not going to go down that path. So LFG Rewards has been designed, it's broken up into stages. So at each point in the life cycle of the LFG ecosystem, there'll be different kinds of rewards, different kinds of incentives, because we have different players and we build a different community at different stages. If we're talking right now in the lead up to our first game, that's a very different kind of community and ecosystem compared to, say, later on when GM is a very mature product, or maybe when we're looking at launching game 2, game 3, game 4, and stuff like that. So we're definitely making sure that we have the ability to adapt with LFG Rewards, and make sure that, again, open to everyone. But if you are holding Forge Keys, you will literally receive a multiplier on the rewards that you receive via the LFG Rewards program. And the way that is designed is, and again, there's a medium going to be popping, I think, next week on exactly how LFG's rewards will work for that first season of Gladiator Mayhem. The way they scale with Forge Keys is linear. Again, if you have one Forge Key, great. All the points that you earn for LFG rewards, you will just get double the points, which is amazing. If you have two, though, you'll get 3x. If you have, as you have more Forge Keys, that multiplier just keeps stacking on top of each other. So if you choose to, supporters and have multiple Forge Keys, yes, you're getting more heroes. Yes, you can play more games. Yes, you can do more AFK and play. And yes, we will multiply your rewards that you get through LFG rewards on top of that as well. But again, this is being designed in a way which is a sustainable rewards model, which means we can run this indefinitely. This is not something where it's going to be a one and done. This is not like some big, promotion and it just drops off and disappears. LFG rewards will be around for the lifespan, not even just of Gladiator Mayhem, but for LFG. And yeah, that is the logo you're all gonna come to know and love. And yeah, it literally will be like rewards are just dropping, from thin air. So like what is that? Like an air drop, I guess you'd call it. So yeah, just for early adopters of Forge Keys, for people that are holding them, for people that are really involved in the LFG ecosystem, if you're playing our games, if you're supporting everything we do, we want to make sure you get that ongoing reward. But yeah, potentially there's something early on that might be really cool to get involved in. So yeah.
The LFG reward ecosystem is definitely going to be something I'm personally going to be a big contributor towards. I love my rewards, so yeah, you guys can. Anyone listening here, you'll be competing with me. So,
and that's the other thing as well. There's even some stuff around LFG rewards that we haven't yet announced.
mm-hmm.
There's a whole additional system that's going to stack on top of that, which again will be a way that you can earn even more rewards and support the LFG ecosystem. If you are a influencer or KOL in the gaming or the Web3 space, you need to be reaching out to Jazz right now because you are technically still early, but you don't have that much longer to go. But yeah, there's, like I said, when we announce things very deliberately. We're very careful in what we put out there because we don't want people to be like copiers and get ahead of us. But believe me when I say, when we announce the other part of LFG rewards, it is going to be a game changer. So yeah, very cool when we can get that out there.
100%. And I guess just one thing to add towards what you just said there. When we do announce things, we also want to make sure that we're the most transparent when it comes towards that, and there's not anything missing or we're not going back on our words. So when sometimes announcements are delayed, it's just to make sure that you guys get all the information which is needed. Because we all don't like announcing things and just putting one sentence there and then everyone has to guess about what it is. No, we want to give you guys all the information which we can give you, but we want to make sure that we're really accurate and transparent with that as well. Where some other, Web3 studios, they like to announce things just for the sake of announcing things, but that's on us.
Yep. And then, yeah, this last part on the screen here is the part of Forge Keys that I'm excited for all of it. I think you can tell, we're doing some really cool stuff here. But this is the part that I'm probably the most proud of that we're able to actually deliver. This is, to the best of my knowledge, no one has been stupid enough to even try something like this before. To literally turn around and say, hey, if you have a Forge Key, you are one of the earliest supporters of the LFG ecosystem. And we are not just going to reward you with everything that we do, but we are going to contractually obligate every game and every studio that we work with to support you in some way, shape, or form. And if they won't, we will not do business with them. It's literally there in black and white. We've had meetings with people who are interested in LFG agents and using them in their own games and stuff like that, which we're very open to having those conversations. But if they are not going to support Forge Key holders, that conversation ends right there. It is as simple as it gets. We're very proud that the team at Mixed Pixel creating Drift Derby, which is an awesome little racing game there, have decided to use LFG agents. We're very proud that they've decided to support Forge key holders. We obviously will announce more details as we get further towards the launch of their game. But yeah, these are the sort of partnerships that we are looking for, where it's not just fluff. It's not just, hey, let's have a partnership so we can share each other's logo on a pitch deck. This is where we want real integrations across both the LFG ecosystem and our partnered studios, what they're doing as well. And we contractually will make sure that Forge key holders are rewarded in some way, shape, or form. It won't always be the same way. It's obviously up to the other studios and games how they choose to incorporate this. But yeah, they have to do something to support Forge key holders, or we will not do business with them. So yeah, I think that's a game changer. I've never seen someone stupid enough to actually put something like this in writing before. But this is what we believe in, and this is what we're going to do. So.
Yeah, no, 100%. And Drift Derby is a great game. So for anyone who is interested in what they're doing, make sure to follow them over at Drift Derby. We'll make sure we'll link to socials under the post so you can check them out.
Yeah. So yeah, that's, like I said, out of the gate, Forge Keys, interesting collection, a lot of cool stuff there going on. Obviously we announced we're partnering with both Avalanche and with Beam. Big shout out to Beam Gamers. I just saw them retweet and share this link to ForgeChat. So hello to anyone tuning in from the Beam community. You'll be seeing a lot more of us as time goes on. Sorry about that. If you don't like Aussie accents, I can't help you, but it is what it is. And yeah, obviously you'll be able to mint Forge keys. If you have Forge Essence, you get access to the first tranche. So you'll be in there first. You'll get the cheapest price compared to everyone else. The public sale starts a little bit after that. In total, there'll be 5,000 Forge keys, of which 2,500 will be on Avalanche, 2,500 will be on Beam. It's worth noting from our side that everything that Lightning Forge Games does, we will treat Forge keys on both chains equally. We don't care if you hold them on Avalanche. We don't care if you hold them on Beam. As far as we're concerned, this is the way for you to choose where you want to store your digital assets. But the rewards, the incentives, everything you get from us will be identical between the two. The two exceptions to that, I want to make this really clear. I think we need to actually update the medium just to make sure this is super clear in there as well. So let's say, for example, we decide to do a Christmas cosmetic and give that out to everyone who holds a Forge key. We may do a different cosmetic for the Avalanche Forge keys compared to the Beam Forge keys. So both sides, like you're going to get like a cool, rare, cosmetic for a certain character or hero or something like that, but it could be a different cosmetic between the two. We think that's really cool because that way, you may choose to, trade back and forth between the two if you want to own a different one or, get a different one. But yeah, we obviously want to make sure that we support both chains equally in that regard. So there'll never be a world where it's like, the Avalanche Forge key holders are getting something, but the Beam ones won't. That will never happen from us. The other side to it, though, that I do want to mention, if a third party chooses to do something to reward one or the other, that is technically outside of our control. So, for example, Beam may choose to do something for just the people who are holding a Beam Forge key, or Avalanche may do something, or a third party may choose to support just one or the other. We obviously want everyone to support both equally, but obviously that's a bit harder for us to enforce if it's not something that we're running or doing ourselves. So yeah, just worth keeping that in mind. I guess the TLDR and the usual. This is not financial advice. Do your own research. All that sort of stuff goes here. If you wanted to maximize the value of a Forge key collection, I guess the best way to do that would be to hold, some on Avalanche and some on Beam. Have your collection sort of split between the two chains. To support that, what we've actually announced for Tranche 1. So for everyone that holds Forge Essence, we're going to make sure that the whitelist applies equally across both chains. So if you have a Forge Essence, when we take the snapshot, you will basically get one whitelist spot on Avalanche and one whitelist spot on Beam. So, for each Forge Essence, you basically can mint 2 Forge keys, if you think of it that way, and get the full 80% discount. So you're minting it for 1 AVAX, or whatever the equivalent will be on Beam, obviously. We will take the snapshot at some point during July. We're not going to tell you beforehand. We'll tell you after. So if you don't currently hold Forge Essence, it's not too late. We will be doing some giveaways throughout the month of July. But obviously, they're also available on secondary markets. If you want, or if you've got friends that might have one, or you want to trade for them or something like that, you can obviously do so. But yeah, you obviously want to make sure that you do that before we announce the snapshot, because we wouldn't want you to miss out, basically. But yeah, the fact that the whitelist will apply across both chains, I think again just shows our commitment to supporting both chains equally. And yeah, obviously for everyone who holds a Forge Essence, and there's thousands of you. This is what you've been waiting for, basically. This is the big thing.
Yeah, 100%. And I guess just to kind of go through, are we like, where can people mint? Is it going to be a specific mint page, or what's going to be the destination where they can actually go and mint it? And like, what currency can they buy with? Or
Yep.
would it be AVAX?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah. So on AVAX, we're actually partnering with Magic Eden for the mint. So you'll be able to mint it through the Magic Eden site. So super easy. That will be in AVAX, obviously. On Beam, we're actually going to build our own custom mint page there, but all the secondary activity will happen on Sphere. So we're basically supporting the Beam ecosystem, obviously as much as we can, as you'd expect. The pricing on Beam, we haven't locked in what we're going to do there yet. Most likely, you'll be able to pay in either Beam tokens or AVAX on Beam. They have like a bridged, like a wrapped AVAX token over there. The pricing will be the equivalent pricing, and we will make sure that stays like on par all the time, regardless. So if it's in AVAX, it will just be, again, same pricing as on C chain. It'll be 1 AVAX. If it's in Beam, we will make sure that the pricing stays the equivalent to 1 AVAX as well. So the pricing will be the same regardless of which chain you choose to mint on. Like I said, it just really comes down to where you choose to mint. But obviously, yeah, the other big advantage is, if you have Forge Essence and you're trying to get in on tranche 1 with the whitelist, you can mint across both and get that discounted price on both as well. As it says there at the top, 500 Forge keys, so 10% of the collection is being held by the studio. We will use that for promotional purposes ongoing. So again, it's a fixed size collection, so we're not going to just give them all away on day one. We'll save some for the release of YOLO, some for the release of GTFO, stuff like that. Important to note that when we do free heroes for Forge keys, those heroes will be reserved indefinitely. So if you hold a Forge key and for some reason you don't mint a hero straight away, we're not going to punish you for doing so. I've seen some projects do that, and it just feels shit. Each Forge key will get a free hero from each faction. And then as much as possible with other incentives and rewards, if you don't happen to use it at the time, we'll try to make sure you can hold on to it. Sometimes that won't work. Like if Forge key holders are getting, free entry to a tournament on a certain date. Well, if you don't use it, well, the tournament's gone. You have to wait for the next one. But as much as possible for those rewards, we never want to be in a position where we are punishing you because you're not paying attention for a week, or you go on holidays, or real life happens in some way, shape, or form. That just feels shit, and we never want to do that. So at a minimum, if you are sitting on a bunch of Forge keys, if anything, if you're sitting on a bunch of Forge keys and you don't mint out the heroes, and you then decide, okay, I'm going to trade one of these to a friend of mine who's getting into the game, that friend of yours could then go and mint out all of the heroes that you haven't minted yet, because they're all there waiting for that hero. It does also mean that theoretically, we may have a world where if someone doesn't mint a hero and they're sitting on the 1 of 1, well, that 1 of 1 is just not going to be out there for a while. You'll have to wait and see where it is. It may even be in one of the Forge keys that we hold back for promotional use. So imagine like someone, maybe they haven't heard of LFG or GM, but they get into it through YOLO, and they win a Forge key from a giveaway, and they happen to crack like the Barbarian Warrior 1 of 1. That'd be kind of cool. So yeah, definitely keen to see that all play out.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, there are minty builds, which I guess you can see that right there. I guess the thing which would be interesting to cover here, Marty, is that although it does say tranche one exclusive price is one AVAX, that doesn't mean that's a price for every tranche in the future, right? Like an 80% discount is an actual 80% discount because the final tranche price will be 5 AVAX.
Yes.
So, the earlier you are, the cheaper you
Yep.
can get it. And who doesn't love a cheap price?
Exactly. Worth note. So, I mean, we actually announced the prices down here as well. So, like tranche two, the first public sale is 2 AVAX straight off the bat. Tranche three is 3 AVAX. Tranche 4 is 4 AVAX. Tranche 5 is 5 AVAX. We try to keep it simple for everyone. So yeah, the earlier you get your Forge keys, the cheaper they will be. We haven't announced dates for future tranches, mostly because of the nature of LFG. We don't want to just front load everything too crazily. We want to, potentially save some stuff for when we do, fully release GM, or when we do YOLO or GTFO, or we have other stuff happening down the road. We would rather do that than have all of the keys up front and then people joining the ecosystem later just feel like they've missed out. So we're really trying to design, again, this long-term ongoing ecosystem that really does reward people for being involved, which I think is kind of cool. But yeah, obviously those pricings are there. Also worth noting, we have no intention of changing the pricing depending on any market activity. When we say, tranche 2 is 2 AVAX, tranche 1 is 1 AVAX, tranche 3 is 3, like regardless of what's, maybe happening, in the Web3 space, that is the pricing right there. It's, as far as we're concerned, it's basically just set like that. It's fair, it's consistent, and what is going on basically. Yeah, as I said, we'll announce them on our socials at least 7 days notice before they go on sale. So again, important to note this. We're never going to just drop something out of nowhere like that. If you see an announcement like that and it looks sus, check all of our socials, open a ticket on Discord, message the team on Telegram. We're very accessible. When you open a ticket on Discord, you are literally chatting to like myself or Hitbox or Jazz or some of our mods, like you're chatting to the team. So if you're ever not sure, open a ticket and confirm these sort of things. But yeah, like I said, we'll definitely make sure you have enough notice for when we do future tranches. But yeah, for now, we're only announcing the dates for tranche 1 and tranche 2.
Yeah. Look at that graphic.
That's a sexy Forge. That's a sexy Forge key right there.
Oh, Johnny, you were cooking with this one.
Yeah, this is one of our early assets. We've been working on the Forge key for a long while, and now we're excited to sort of get it out in the world. But yes, one of the very first things we worked on.
Yeah, I guess like Marty said, like this was supposed to be announced at AVAX Summit, but we had that amazing opportunity with Beam where we kind of had to hold back. But yeah, excited to finally announce it now.
And that's the thing. I hope the community, I hope over time we can earn the community's trust. In a way that when we say like, hey, we've got to delay something, or hey, we're pushing back an announcement, or these sort of things do happen. I hope we can prove to everyone over time that every single time we do that, it is always going to be with the community's best interests in mind. At the end of the day, like the whole point of making games, the whole point of running a game studio is to create these experiences for our community, for all of our players. And then our job is to bring millions of people into these experiences and show them how fun and engaging all of our games can be. But without our community, we're literally nothing. So yeah, I hope that our community understands that everything we do, we're doing for them. And yeah, there will be times that we have to delay things. There'll be times that maybe we can't be as upfront and transparent as we would like to be about why something might be happening. you'll have to just take our word that we will be transparent when the time is right. And that, every time we make one of these decisions, it is always trying to do what is best for the community.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Yeah. I mean, for people who want to be a part of Four Cheese, again, Mint is not happening until July 30th, so you still have obviously time. So don't be worried. There's gonna be lots of media assets and a lot of notifications going across socials before Mint even. So when the time does come, I'm sure you'll be notified. And yeah, if you want a cheaper price, might be time to scoop up some Forge Essence. They're on, Magic Eden, they're on OpenSea. You can purchase them on any of those marketplaces. And yeah, and if not Forge Essence, then see you at Tranche 2. But this is a great opportunity for everyone to be a part of the LFG ecosystem. What Marty just said here also is the beginning phases of being a part of the ecosystem. Obviously, the more rollouts which come out in the future, we look at Forge key holders as our core, supporters, and they will always be rewarded with anything which is being done within the ecosystem in the future. So, it's kind of like your entry into a bigger family.
Yep. And we're incredibly excited. We love the feedback we're getting already from the early testers for Gladiator Mayhem. We're taking that feedback on board. We're trying to make the game better in every way we can. We're building a bunch of other systems around that, such as LFG rewards, such as things I can't talk about yet. Doing crazy stuff with tournaments, with AFK and play, with LFG agents. We just celebrated our 1 year anniversary as a studio, and we already have copycats, even though we haven't released a game yet. This is the start of something incredible. And for people that choose to get involved at this early stage, we can't wait to have you along for the ride.
Yeah, well said. Johnny, do you have anything? Any closing statements?
Oh, well, aren't we going to do Q&A before we close
right.
out? But, yeah.
Thank you. Yep, you're right about that. All right, so let's get into Q&A. Few of the questions we already answered during our hero section. I guess there's a little bit more questions regarding the marketing. So one of these are here. Will there be marketing efforts prior to Mint, considering how bad the sentiment is in Web3 gaming? The answer is yes. We have a 4G campaign going on where not only ourselves, but also our partners will be pushing 4Gs near Mint time. So yes, there will be ample amplification and a lot of content going out prior. Just got to be tuning into our socials just to see that. But so that would be the case there. Let's see. This one we already answered. This is like play to airdrop campaign. I guess if we want to touch up on this, questions regarding the LFG token. How does it play into the ecosystem, and how does it work?
Yep. So we haven't revealed too much around that just yet. Yes, there will be an LFG token. Yes, it will be important in terms of the utility it plays in the LFG ecosystem. One of the primary utilities that token will drive is you will need LFG to participate in a lot of different aspects of the LFG ecosystem. Certain parts of hero training, certain parts of tournaments, certain parts of other programs that we haven't announced yet will all be exclusive to that token. There'll be a bunch of ways that people can earn that token over time, either through LFG rewards, Forge keys, or other systems. It will be an interesting part of the full LFG ecosystem. Unlike what we hear from time to time, like I do think there is a place for gaming tokens in general. Especially when they are an ecosystem token, especially when they are tied to significant forms of utility, both now and in the future. We'll definitely be dropping our tokenomics soon. Again, we're right now we're chatting with various potential launch partners to work out the best way for us to launch this token effectively. Right now it's not a good time to be launching a token. Especially a gaming token. There's unfortunately, a lot of examples of that happening recently that did not go well. We don't want to fall into that trap. We want to make sure we do things the right way. And again, playing things relatively close to the chest for two reasons. One, we don't want to take focus away from the things that we are doing. We don't want the question to just be, when token, when token. We want it to be, oh my God, I got a Forge key and this thing's amazing. Or, hey, I just played hours of Gladiator Mayhem and I'm battling up the leaderboards, I'm playing in tournaments, and oh my God, this is so fun. Um, I've always looked at tokens as drivers of utility in an ecosystem. And a good tokenomics and a good token is a byproduct of a successful ecosystem, not the other way around. We need to build the LFG ecosystem to have millions of gamers battling it out in Gladiator Mayhem, YOLO, and GTFO. We need to make sure that Forge keys are the must-have collection in the GameFi space. We must make sure that heroes become the must-have, utility in the LFG ecosystem. And once we have all of that, powering everything we do, the natural need for a token presents itself. We're not trying to launch a meme coin here. We don't want to just drop a token out of nowhere that has no purpose, that doesn't fit, that doesn't make sense. So yes, there will be a token. When it happens, like I said, I can guarantee you it'll be at a time that is most advantageous for the community in the first place. But there will be more details about that coming very soon. It will play a significant role in LFG rewards, which again, if you have a Forge key or if you have multiple Forge keys, the points that you are earning through LFG rewards are just multiplied. So if you are interested in if you're interested in a token, my suggestion to you in the short term is you should be interested in Forge keys, is the best way I can put that.
There's a lot of alpha in that statement, so take it, the way you want it. But yeah, I guess another question here is, given how unsustainable play to airdrop campaigns are, especially on mobile games and Web3, how does LFG Rewards differentiate itself from those campaigns?
Yep, it's a great question. And like I said, we've studied a lot of those play to airdrop campaigns because that's how we learn. That's how we see what works, what doesn't, and how we can innovate and do things differently. As I said, LFG Rewards is a sustainable, non-inflationary model. It is designed from the ground up to be a system we can run for the life of the studio in a way that isn't going to just dump a token into the ground or affect everything else we are doing in the LFG ecosystem. We want this to be one part of a successful, thriving, vibrant ecosystem, regardless of sentiment around Web3 gaming, regardless of market conditions, regardless of anything else. Because if we can drive a world where these rewards really do matter and are fun and innovative and new and different, that's where we all win. So what you'll notice with LFG rewards, and the other thing I can't talk about yet, is it's going to feel very different to what a lot of projects have done in the past. We are learning from what they have done and trying to innovate on what they have done. And then when you put it into an ecosystem where we have a lot of unique factors, such as AFK and play, where we have our unique tournament system we're building, when you have this other thing I can't talk about yet, when you have games being created from designers that have decades of experience in the mobile, that were making mobile games before the App Store was a thing. That I'll tell the story one time, but myself, one of the other designers on the LFG team, we released an indie title, which I maintain is the most played, least profitable game in mobile gaming history. It's a weird title to be proud of, but like I said, when I say we've had a lot of experience, we've launched some of the biggest games and we've launched some of the worst games. And again, a lot of teams in Web3 won't tell you that side of the story. They'll happily drop I worked at insert big name here, but they can't give you the breakdown. They can't tell you the actual games they worked on. They'll always try and hide it behind, oh yeah, I work, and it turns out they were a cleaner in the office in somewhere. We will talk about our wins and we'll talk about our failures and our learnings from those, because I think that's important to understand the breadth and the depth of experience we bring to the table here. So yeah.
Yeah, no, great answer to that. yeah, I mean, this is pretty much it for our AMA. Majority of the other questions were answered while we were going through the Forge Key medium. And yeah, those two questions were kind of outstanding. So yeah, I guess everything is good on that aspect. As always, we'll be having these Forge chats on a weekly basis, especially leading up to all the major things we're planning and releasing soon. It's just our duty to inform the community about what's going on within the LFG ecosystem. So if you guys do have any questions which might have gone missed today, please make sure to ask them in the next ForgeChat. We try to make sure to answer all of them. So yeah, I mean, this was great, guys. This was very informative.
Yeah.
I hope everyone who listened got some kind of value out of this and understands Forge Keys better now. And Marty, you crush it with the explanation on everything. So I know me and Johnny were sitting back, but yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah,
taking
It
absolutely.
helps that I wrote the medium, so yeah, I've had a lot of time to think about this and how to like put this together in a way that's hopefully easy for people to digest. If people do have more questions, we do have the AMA channel on Discord. Happy to answer questions there. If it's something, you can open the ticket and ask us directly if you want to. Like I know, like Arthur ETH or whatever his handle is, we're having a chat on Discord in his ticket right now, talking about game design and how we think about placing power ups and how that affects level design and how that balances melee versus range. Like there's a lot going on that we're happy to sort of discuss and chat about. Obviously, we're hoping to open up Gladiator Mayhem to more testers this week. We've got some builds going through the pipeline right now with Apple and with Google Play with Google. So yeah, we'll hope to be able to open that up to outside of just cohort 0, get more people into the LFG ecosystem, and yeah, get some feedback on what you guys like, areas we can make the game better, and hopefully we can work with the community to build the best mobile game possible.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I mean,
100%.
we've been on this call for like nearly an hour and a half now, so way over the allocated hour that we assigned for ForgeChat. But if there's been a theme to this sort of ForgeChat today, is we're building a lot, and we're gonna share it with the community once it's ready to share. I think we understand that community is everything. This doesn't happen without the community, and everything that we're building is, with the community first in mind. And if anyone's going to be at Gamescom, stop by, say hello, and thanks for sharing an hour and a half of your time to listen to us dribble on about Forge Keys and LFG and all the things that we're super excited about.
And to everyone who just uses AI to take this video and compress it down to some dot points, hi ChatGPT, and hopefully all the alpha makes it through the AI process.
All right, we got to mention the other LLMs as well. What's up, Anthropic, Gemini?
Yeah.
Which one am I missing?
Grok, is this real?
Grok.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Shout out to Grok.
Yeah, Grok's a great guy. But yeah, I mean, I guess let's end it off, guys, with a collective chat. I'm gonna count down to 0, starting at 3, and then at 0 we're all gonna say LFG. Ready? 3, and then sorry, but whoever's listening, please join us. 3, 2, 1.
LFG.
LFG.
Oh, LFG.
Let's go.
You're gonna work on the timing of that.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
Have a good day, everyone. Always
All
great
right.
to chat.
Yep.
LFG.
Cheers, everyone.